What's up everyone, Joseph here. Earlier today, Apple had their first keynote event of 2022 called Peak Performance, and we all looked into the name, tried to figure out what it meant. We all thought, oh, maybe a new M1, M2, and we were let in with a little surprise that nobody was expecting. So they opened up, the first thing they opened up with was the Apple TV and just some new films on it, some new original Apple TV movies, and the introduction of Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, which will be 2 games every Friday night and exclusive to Apple TV. Well, that's if they're not still in the lockout. And then the iPhone 13, they came out with this alpine green color for the 13 and the 13 Pro, and I have to admit, I really like the color. It's a little bit more bolder than the blue, but I'm a big fan, and pre-orders start for that this Friday. Next up, we were all expecting this, the iPhone SE update. And it's basically the same formula with just a new chip. They have the updated glass from the iPhone 13 on the back. They have the A15 Bionic chip in it, so it's faster, it's got Touch ID. It's just a better, more efficient phone that can kind of run this new iOS 15. They've added 5G to it. Touch ID lives on for yet another year, which many people are probably pretty happy with. And basically it's a much faster iPhone 8, which was the old body it was in. And then the iPad Air. We all saw this one coming, that they were going to throw the M1 chip in it, but my issue with the iPad, and it's really a personal issue, is they put so much power into these iPads with the Pro and now the Air with the M1 that you can't do what I want to do with it. I want to be able to edit a full video on my iPad with this Magic Keyboard, and I still can't do that because I won't do it in iMovie or like Premiere Rush. So as they've put in this new chip and it makes it much faster, there's really not much more you can do with it. You can edit photos faster, you can have your sky replacement faster, you can do all those things faster, but for me, I want to see video editing. I want it to really, with how powerful the MacBooks are this day, I want to see it as something I can edit a simple video on. But with that, there's a Wi-Fi and a cell model. 5G is officially on the iPad Air. We have the front 12 megapixel camera, and with the M1 and that technology, you now have center stage, which is very nice for the iPad. iPad Pro has it, so now the Air has it, which is nice. And that one's available for pre-order this Friday, and March 18th, it'll come out. And now the things that I really want to talk about. M1 Ultra. Nobody was expecting M1 Ultra. Nobody was predicting it, nobody was rumoring it, nobody. And they took 2 M1s. How they displayed it was they took one M1 and there was this little piece at the bottom that's not in use. And it basically connects with another M1 Max. So 2 M1 Maxes connect to make M1 Ultras. So it's basically 2 Max chips creating one huge chip being the M1 Ultra. And they really said, here Intel, we're gonna make something much powerful and you can compete with this now. So with that, what's the M1 Ultra gonna live in? And that's the Mac Studio, and that was the new piece of hardware they came out with. And the Mac Studio is 3 times faster than the fastest iMac. It is 80% faster than the top of the line Mac Pro. It has up to 128 gigabytes of unified memory, up to 80 gigabytes of memory bandwidth, up to 64 core GPU, up to a 20 core CPU, and you can get up to an 8 terabyte SSD. So my question is the Mac Pro dead? That was my question at the time, which they sort of answered later on. And with that, the Mac Studio will ship with an M1 Max chip at $1,999, or the new M1 Ultra chip at $3,999. And that's set for a March 18th release too. And then the next thing, we are expecting this, but I'm so happy this came out, and that's Studio Display to kind of run with the Mac Studio. And this is a 30-degree tilt, or you can get a tilt and height adjustable stand. You can configure this thing in landscape or portrait mode. It's 27 inches. It has 14.7 million pixels, which is 5K Retina display and 600 nits of brightness. It has the A13 chip, 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera with center stage for the first time on a Mac, 3 mics, and just a bunch of speakers, which makes spatial audio something that is supported with Dolby Atmos. And then what makes this thing really cool is 96 watts of power can charge any MacBook on this thing. It can connect up to 3 edit displays, so 3 different studio displays. And then that's available March 18th at a price of $1,599. So again, I'm very excited about this one. And then right after they announced all of this, they said, they kind of teased the Mac Pro for a bit. So when I said earlier, is the Mac Pro dead? Sounds like we're going to hear a little bit more about it later. So that's really just what this peak performance was. There was a lot of things I expected, and M1 Ultra was wild to see. But with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a little recap video, something small, something quick, something same day. And hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And until the next video, peace.